Welcome ladies and gentlemen. In this video we are going to talk how to apply NormalMap to prepare our model for exporting for Battle for Middle Earth. For the very beginning we need to customize our 3ds Max. Press Customize, Preference, Viewports, choose Driver, and we will select Legacy DirectX 3D. Press OK. Press OK, and now we need to restart our 3ds Max. Once we restarted our 3ds Max, now we can import our prepared model and we can start to edit it. And now I will check my UV map. The UV map is ready for working and we can continue. Press M on your keyboard and you have access to edit your material. Press Physical Material and select DirectX shader. Discard all material. And now we can select our NormalMappedFX. It is important to mention that on internet you can find different version of NormalMappedFX, but we need the old one that was used for Battle for Middle Earth, because this version is compiled, not readable, and W3D tools will be able to export our model that was created using this FX. Here you can see uncompiled version of NormalMappedFX. Here you can find how this FX works, but for now it doesn't follow our purposes, so we will use only old version of NormalMappedFX. And now we can select our color map and normal map. And now we can assign our material. We will change the technique from default L and default M to just default. That is the only technique that is working with our normal map and allow us to apply our normal map and export it. In this window we have several additional options that we can use. For example, bump height is the intensity of our normal map. Ambient occlusion controls interaction of our model with environment. For example, if you put here white color, our model will not have shadows, our model will be very bright. Diffuse color is the color of our model. If you put here a color, for example red, or your ring will be red, regardless to the color of the texture. Specular color is the color of your reflection. For example, if you put here a blue color, your model will reflect with blue shade. Specular exponent controls the intensity of our specularity. The lower number you will put here, the higher level of specularity you will get. And if you put here a higher number, for example 90, the lower specularity you will get on your model. Alpha test is used for textures that have alpha channel. If your texture has alpha channel, you will enable it and you will get transparency in the places where you have your alpha channel. And I will tell this information a little bit detailed in the end of our video, where I will show with examples how this parameter is working. And now we will reset the transform information from our model, because we don't need that. So we will need to reset our rotation, convert it to editable poly. Now we will apply some simple animation that was used for original ring, and we will add start key. We will press A on our keyboard to rotate with step, and we will rotate our ring by 360 degrees. And of course we need to enable our auto key. And our animation is ready, and now we can export our model. Here we will select hierarchical animated model to export mesh with animation. And now we can check our ring. As you can see, our normal map is applied. We will change our lighting, and you can see that normal map is working. Now I will just unify our shading groups. I will put one group on all model and will resave it again. Knowing that we will have only one such model in the game, we can increase the number of polygons for our model. I will simply add modifier mesh smooth, and you will see the difference between our models. Also, I would like to add some glowing effects to our ring, for example, glowing text. For that purposes, I will just copy our model, because I will need the surface of the light elements to follow the surface of our ring. We will select not needed elements and we will delete it. And now we can add material. We'll select W3D. We don't need diffuse and ambient, so we'll add only black color for it. And for emission we will select orange color. We don't need any movement for our texture. And now we will select our alpha map that was prepared for our ring, and we will use it for emission. We will apply our material. We need only add mode. And that will be it. We'll adjust color a little bit, and now we can export our model. As you can see, our model has different appearance. The ring is more realistic. The model is more smooth, and the shading on the model is much better. Because we have enough number of polygons, of course we can make it smaller. For example, we don't need such huge amount of polygons in the middle of our ring. Of course we could simply delete these polygons, but it's a single model for whole game, so we can afford that. And also we can export our model with lower number of polygons, but also with glowing. And now we will simply repeat some of our previous actions, but just for low poly version of our ring with glowing effects. As you can see, the size of this ring is smaller, but we have also glowing and the ring. I've prepared several additional variants of this model while working with our project. As you can see, this model is with fake shading. For example, it has no diffuse map but baked shadings. Here we don't have glowing effect, and this version doesn't interact with light. And now let's take a look on our parameters. If we set lower value on our bump height, for example 0.1, you can see that our normal map is almost invisible on our model. So we will need higher value. And that is our model with higher value in bump height for normal map. You can see that NormalMap is more intensive, that our text is more deep and more sharp, but as a rule we will use the default value in our bump height. And we will go to ambient color. As you can see, if we make ambient color white, our model will be very bright, and shadows are not so intensive as with default value. If we add here black color, you can see that our model is very dark in areas where light doesn't cover our model. You can select any color for your ambient color, but as a rule we will use only gray or white or dark color. And now let's look at our specularity. Here you can see when you have specular color blue, you can see that reflections are blue, that our model reflects our environment with blue shadings. It's like model reflects the sky. And now you can see that with 0 our specularity is very intensive. Our model is reflecting the environment with blue shading, almost like if we had some additional light in our scene, but we don't have the one. Here you can see how our model interacting with our environment when our specularity is high. For example, the number is 90. Additional blue color appears, but not so intensive as with 0, and it's very interesting effects, for example, if you have metal in your scene. And now compare it with specular exponent of 20. It is important to mention that we will not use blue color in our specular color. As a rule, we will use only white or gray. And now we will check our diffuse color. When we will put some color on our diffuse, you will see that the diffuse color will overlap the original color of our model, and it will change this shade. And now let's look at our models in the game. Here you can see variants of the ring that we created during this work. You can see normal maps on our rings. It is visible, it is even readable. This very model was created with technique default M, and that variant of the ring I've decided to use as default. It is also important to mention that if you want to see your normal maps in the game, sometimes you will need to set higher parameters for your textures. Let's look at our models closer. You can see that normal maps are visible and everything is working. That's all for today. Thanks for watching and happy modding!